We got a motorbike. So many things have happened this week. We painted. Well, actually, really, my husband did. It's his, like, he's finishing up his semester of school. Here are his students singing in class.
I wonder why. Yesterday you told me about a blue sky, and all that I can see just your lemon tree. I turn in my head up and down, I turn around, and all that I can see just your lemon tree.
Wow. This is my last video before the end of 2020, so that's exciting. We're going on vacation next week, so it'll be a couple weeks before I upload a new video. I need a haircut. It's probably not going to happen. Of course, because we're about to travel, Jeff got sick, so I don't know when I'll get a haircut. What else? Oh, I have a new t-shirt design that I just put up on my Threadless. So there's that. Here's what it looks like as a t-shirt. It's exciting. So yeah, we got this new motorbike, and the morning after we got it, I went down and it had almost a fully empty tire. But I went and got it filled, and it's been several days and it hasn't gotten flat again, so that's good. But then the second day in the morning, I went and looked at it, and I noticed that there was a tiny little oil leak. So not a good first couple days, but still happy we got it. It was very inexpensive. It was used. Jeff bought it from someone who was a teacher who was moving back to Ireland. So yeah, so all in all, hopefully neither of those problems will be something terrible, but we'll see. So in this video, I'm going to work on some new pieces that are all kind of the result of a request, and essentially I'm going to just show you my thought process as I work on these new pieces. So I'm going to start with mixing my paint and reconstituting, and I know I'm such a weirdo. I act like I'm a 20-something starving artist reusing my paints, but I don't know. I just like to. But if you don't know where I am, here's like a little clip of me, my last video. One of my previous buyers contacted me asking if some pieces were available, and so he's like, I like this one and this one, are they available? And one of them was, and the other one wasn't. And then he's like, I like this one and this one, and one of them wasn't available. So he picked out two, and he's like, I really like this first one I showed you. I don't know if you do commissions, but can you do something sort of like this? So yeah, the approach I took was I got together a bunch of pieces that I enjoy from my past and kind of wanted to emulate, I guess. And I just put them up on my computer, and so I could see them. And then I started, making new compositions based on the old ones. So I'm just going to show you the process of starting these pieces, and when applicable, I'll show you kind of like my direct inspiration of my own work for creating these new compositions. one of the things I noticed doing this series was that I tended to be a little bit less, a little less aggressive with the amount of water I use, because this black paper that I have is about 150 GSM, and on the white pieces that I work with watercolor, they're about twice as thick. So as I start getting into the line work of these pieces, you'll see that I switch back and forth. I'm going to work on like 5 pieces simultaneously, which is going to get confusing to watch. So you could only imagine how confusing it is to actually do it in real time. But it's because this gel pen, if I move around the ruler too much with the wet ink, it could smear, and so you can't really get rid of those smears, so you kind of have to just wait for it to dry. So it's just kind of become the way I work. Sometimes it's a little dangerous because I could make a mistake because I lose track of where I am or what I intended to do. But I've gotten pretty good at, mentally keeping track of each piece as I go. And when on the occasions when I do make a little mistake or something, it's like I always say, those end up being kind of discoveries, because if everything goes perfectly to plan, you don't really discover anything new. So while there is some risk that I'll like mess up, quote unquote, even if something is considered messed up, I'm not too worried about it, because not everyone, I'm the only person who knows what the intention was to begin with, and if I mess up, I don't have to tell anyone. So, one of the biggest things I discovered doing this was how, again, the order of operation for each set of lines is really important. Not so much when you're doing one color, like in this white piece, but like for example on this piece here, what I should have done was done all the green first, which is on the inside most, and then the orange, and then the purple, so that they would layer over one another. And I'll show you later how in the finished piece this matters. And even though I said no one has to know except me, I'm gonna tell you. So this piece ended up being pretty different from anything I made before. Reminds me of something very 80s, like Miami Vice. And in this piece, I intentionally had the idea of doing this cut-off version, but like I said, I sort of messed up slightly, and so I went a different route. So here's the finished piece, and you could see, if you look closer, how the green shoots over the tops of the other colors on that part, and then how the circle is not closed with the purple, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I think that I could have been more consistent and had it either be closed or open, if that makes any sense. Probably doesn't, but again, I always think, oh, I messed up, and then no one else could see what I'm talking about. Or even if you can, it's not necessarily a mess up. But here are the finished pieces. I'm really happy with all of them, and I think that I want to do more, and that they will spark inspiration for future pieces. And this was the final piece that the client wanted. So again, I think he is happy, and so I'm happy. So then it's time to pack up. For that one piece here that you could see, I had to create like a custom like sleeve for it. I have a bunch of sleeves that I bought from when I was living in China that are the perfect size for the A4, which is the Asian standard, like loose leaf paper is A4 size, which is slightly different than American style 8.5 by 11. And so this piece is 9 by 12. So I had to like make a custom sleeve out of this stuff called glassine, which is kind of like a wax paper, to ship it. Which I find this stuff kind of fun, making these little things to ship things in, and I would probably be even more elaborate with it if I had more access to materials and stuff. The roll of glassine that I have, which is a really small roll, I bought in China, and I don't know that I could find it here in Vietnam, so I'm conserving it. So, in Vietnam, you are not allowed to, bring in a sealed box to the place where you ship things. It has to be an open box, and they have to be able to look through all of it. So, I've had to be pretty creative in how I package my things to be shipped, because everything needs to be looked through, and it's kind of a pain, because the way you make sure that things don't get damaged in transit is to make sure they're they can't shift around or shuffle around in the box and stuff like that. So you can't tape things in place, because they have to be looked through, and I just have to be as creative as I can be with making sure that it's clear how things should be packed. So I just kind of wrap it up close to how I want it to look, and then I bring it in, and then I make a show of unwrapping it so they see how it's supposed to look, and hope that they follow it when they put it all back together. So usually when I pack individual pieces, they each have their own sort of backing board, and then they're wrapped in plastic, and then if there are multiple pieces, I sandwich pieces. So there's like one on a backing board, then however many loose ones, and then another backing board facing inward so that they're sandwiched between two pieces of cardboard. And then I wrap that in bubble wrap, and then I put all of that in the box. So that, in an ideal situation, I would be able to tape it all together so that it can't shift or whatever. So yeah, that's how I approach working on sort of a commission. It wasn't a true commission in the fact that they just asked me for something similar to something I made before, and I think in a true commission process I would probably have a more clear idea of exactly what they wanted and also get some money up front before I started it. This was more of like just taking a request and seeing if they were interested. Unfortunately, they were, and they bought the piece that I made. So it worked out, and I came up with some new pieces that I'm excited about. So thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, hit the like button, thumbs up, and make sure if you're not already, you subscribe. And I'll see you in 2021.